Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Tactics Review, and we're reviewing the ClanBanger22. We've now moved on to League 1 and the lowest ranked team is actually Bolton. So before we go any further, let's go and have a look. So Bolton are ranked as the bottom team. Remember, there's only 23 teams in League 1 for the first season, so they're ranked as the bottom team. We are not going to do anything with them. We're going to do what we've done for the previous episodes. So the first thing we need to have a look at is staff and responsibilities. We have nothing. All the responsibilities are with the staff, because that's not what this is about. This is about simming the tactic and reviewing the tactic. This is not about us making any influence. It's just to test the rawness of the tactic, whether it can just be put in place at the club. Now, I am quite hopeful, because I wasn't aware Bolton were the lowest team. Most of my games are played in the non-league, so I don't really notice Bolton until we reach that sort of position. It makes sense with what's happening at the moment, but Bolton are ranked as the lowest team in that division. But I am optimistic, because although they are, I have this feeling that this is probably the right team for the tactic, which only probably makes sense to me. But I think we might get a bit of a better test with this. There is some big teams down in League 1, so it may be tough. But just initially looking through that squad, there is a few decent players in there that could adapt to this tactic. If you don't know the tactic, if you've not seen the other episodes, go and look at those first before you watch this. The reason being is because they follow on from each other. So we did the first season with Oxford City. Oxford City got promoted, which was a resounding success. Oxford were due to finish bottom. Chorley, they were in the National to finish bottom. They actually got to the playoffs. Resounding success. They did what they wanted it to do. Macclesfield was the last episode. They were expected to finish stone cold bottom. They finished 13th, and in each season I think we've been the top scorers, or the team that we've put the tactic into has been the top scorers. And so the tactic is it works for what it's supposed to do. Now please remember, this doesn't have anybody's influence other than the game, the assistant manager making those decisions on our behalf, just because we don't want to have any input and influence it, because we're testing as a raw tactic. So take it as it is. If you have watched the other episodes, we're not going to go over too much detail, i.e. positions and things, because we've done that already. Episode 2, if you want to go and have a look at that. Before we move any further, if you like what we've done on this and you want to see future content and you want to be notified, please subscribe, please drop a like, and one of the important things is drop a comment and let us know if you've used the tactic, who you've used it with, what was your results. Even put a screenshot down there. I'm pretty sure you can still do that. But 1, it helps us, and 2, it helps other people. And the creator, Chris, all the details will be in the description. He can see it. He can see what people's results are and how it's worked, because when I've spoke to him, he does want to see that. So that's great. So before we move any further, let's load this tactic in. This is the tactic. If you haven't seen it before, if you are new to the channel, we'll briefly go through it, and I'll repeat, go to episode 2, and that will go into more detail about the in possession, in transition and out of position, plus the individual player traits. So we have a sweeper keeper. We have always on defensive. We have 2 wing backs on automatic. We have 2 ball playing defenders on defence. We have a winger on the left hand side who plays in that 3. We have 2 deep lying. We have 1 deep lying playmaker who's on support, a box to box midfielder who's on support, and a more forward winger on support, plus 2 advanced forwards on attack. It's a 4-3-3 asymmetric, with the right side of midfield playing further up. We don't influence this team selection. That has all been put to the staff. Was no quick picking. We're not playing the best teams. This is it. So what will happen is we will sim this now, and we'll get all the way down to the 1st of February, We're going to play that Tranmere game, the home game there on the 1st of February. We're not going to play a second game just because time permitting and what I spoke about earlier. We're then going to sim till the rest of the season. We're going to review inside those points. We're going to quickly wrap this one up, and then we'll be on to the championship for episode 5. There is nothing really much else to show you. We'll have a look at some other bits. Apart from, we're now going to go on holiday. I'm going to show you how we set it up. Use current tactics. Nothing else is selected. We then click on here and we move this to 2020, February the 1st, and we set that going and go on holiday. You don't have to go on holiday, I'll just see you in a few seconds. So it's the 1st of February, we're back, and if you haven't seen already, Bolton are 5th in the table. Firstly, let's go across and let's have a look at the schedule and see what's been happening. So we started with friendlies that looked like they were a disaster. You've got to imagine that these were against bigger opposition, such as Feyenoord, St Johnstone, Hearts, Fulham and Mainz. Yeah, weren't expected to, and look at the results, lots of goals conceded, but then things got better. Played Wraith, 5-1 victory. Charlie Ball with 2, Jacob Mellis, Riley and Eddie Brown. Then beat Mallorca 3-0. Mallorca are Spanish First Division, so yeah. Hamilton, Dodo and Lowe, 3-0 victory. And then that looked to have carried on into the League One. Beat Wickham 4-1 goals. Did lose to Coventry 2-1, but then beat Mansfield in the Carabao Cup 2-0. Then beat Tranmere 4-0, Doncaster 2-0, Ipswich 2-1. Lost to Leeds in the Carabao Cup, to be expected. Then beat Gillingham. Then beat Bradford in the FA Trophy. Lost to Rotherham 1-0 before beating Oxford, Sunderland, Portsmouth and Blackpool before losing in the FA Trophy. So if you take away so only 2 league defeats, the rest all wins. Really good. Then beat Rochdale, lost to Bristol Rovers, then beat Lincoln, Fleetwood and Chesterfield. Lost to Man United under 23s in the FA Trophy, which means then 2 more league victories. All in all, pretty good up to November. Then a 3-1 victory over Macclesfield in the FA Cup second round, which means they get a 3rd round tie. 4 straight draws with lots of goals in there. Then a victory over Sunderland again, a 3-1 victory. Then a loss 2-1 to Shrewsbury before beating Burton 4-2, and probably a disappointing 1-0 defeat in the FA Cup 3rd round. They then went on to beat Blackpool 3-0, lost to Rochdale, but then beat Portsmouth and beat Bristol Rovers. So all in all, very, very impressive. And what I am noticing is not too many goals conceded as such. So we have got those 4 and 3 victories, and there is some goals conceded here. But look at these: 4-0, 1-0, 3-0, 3-0, 2-0. It's not a 5-4, 7-4, which we've seen previously. So let's see what that does for the table. Let's have a look at the big table. 19 victories, 4 draws and 5 defeats. 49 points, only 2 points off of Doncaster. Hit 61 goals and only conceded 29. Now, as with previous episodes, the team that we've put the tactic on has been conceding relegation or just above relegation amounts of goals. So we can see here, it's actually one of the best defences in the league. That is quite impressive. So not only now are we getting the goals, but we're not conceding too many goals. A goal difference of 32. 49 points above the likes of Ipswich, Sunderland, Portsmouth, Rotherham is pretty good. Teams above them: Doncaster, Rockford, Bristol Rovers and Peterborough. Not many points separates the side. That 61 is absolutely astonishing. Daryl Murphy's on 22 goals already. Let's have a look if we have anybody else. Actually, there's a few. Dodu is on 9. Ethan Hamilton is on 9. That's it. So they're the three. Player of the Match awards: Hamilton and Murphy are up there on 5. Average ratings: we've got Murphy, Hamilton, Emmanuel, Brandon Fleming and Keane Bryan all knocking it around there. Clean sheets: Remy Matthews is up there on 8. It's only 3 off Vickers, so this is quite a difference, and I had this feeling. Assist wise: Murphy, Emmanuel, Politic, Fleming. And yellow cards, there is a fair few in there that are reaching the top. Let's go and have a look at the squad, and let's have a look at the goals. 23 for Murphy, 10 for Hamilton, who is on loan from Manchester United. First, before this, let's have a look what signings they made. So the assistant manager has made a lot of signings, but not too many that weren't there already. It's a handful of players that's come in there, and they look like they're trying to sign a 17-year-old there. But back to this: 9 for Dodo, 5 for Keane, 5 for Hobbs, 3 for Politic, 2 for Fleming and 1 the rest. Assist wise, so although the goals aren't being shared around as much, the assists still are. So we've got Fleming on 8, left back; Josh Emmanuel on 8, he's the right back; Luke Murphy, who's the central midfielder and defensive midfielder, with 8. 7 for Politic, 4 for Gotts, 4 for Dodu, 3 for Giorgio, 3 for Buckley, 3 for Hamilton, 2 and 1 the rest. Average ratings, we can see we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 players above that 7 mark. A few hovering around in the 690s, and just it looks quite good. Club vision, let's have a look. A+ from the board. They're disappointed in a few defeats there, but they're delighted about fighting bravely against relegation, delighted that they're in the 3rd round, and delighted past reaching the 2nd round. So all in all, that's good. Finances: 1.6 million in the hole, and overspending on wages, but we've had nothing to do with that. So what we're going to do now is, now we've had a look round and see what's happened so far, we're going to get a game underway. We're going to play one game only this time. The reason being is I want to give less us sticking our finger in it and let it run them. So we'll do that one game and then we'll go to the end of the season. So let's get that game underway. We're into this game now. It's against Tranmere. Tranmere, incidentally, let's have a quick look. Our 21st. All we're going to do, quick pick, that's it, and straight in. We're not messing about with anything in this. It's literally the assistant manager who's going to do everything. We're just there as bystanders. That's all done for us because we're not having any control. Let's get this kicked off. Speed that up a little bit. And it's the first highlight, and it's Hamilton who tries to get a header there, I think, and he plays it back to Emmanuel, but they've lost the ball, and Gilmore, and it's Tranmere who are setting off now, but they've made a mistake, and Emmanuel, who's high up, goes forward and scores, and it's 3 minutes in. It's 1-0 to Bolton, and it's took us 4 episodes, but I'm quite optimistic that we might see the tactic in its full flow here. It's Emmanuel takes it off him. He's high up and continues his run and scores. Doesn't need any other help. It's 1-0. It's a corner now, and it's Politic who gets it in, and it goes out there. We've got a throw in now, and it's Fleming. Massive throw in, goes to Clark. Fleming again, plays it to Lowe. Lowe plays it back. Bryan now. Bryan over to Fleming. If Fleming can get this in, he does. And Murphy, I think it's the bar there. And we're only 10 minutes in, and the tactic is making Bolton, it really is making them look really, really dangerous. It's a save. Was it a save? No, over the bar. I'm just noticing that Bolton, if they win this, will be in the top 2 as things stand at the moment. It's Giorgio now. Keeps it in, plays it back to Lowe. Lowe plays it to Fleming. Fleming crosses it in, and Dodo misses. But again, that's 7 chances, a few on the highlights, and it's Fleming again, Murphy, Hamilton, Lowe. Lowe goes all the way back to Brian. Brian finds Fleming, and Fleming on this side looks very dangerous, plays it in, ricochets around, and then fires a shot at the keeper, and it's easy. But lots and lots of chances. This attacking formation, this attacking style is really, really looking good. And it's all the pressure coming from Bolton. And it's what we wanted to show you on the other episodes. It's just never happened. Hamilton, and that's Lowe. He's going to play it back, and now it's Nisiala and Emmanuel again, and Emmanuel's going to run with the ball now. He does lay it off, and he finds Fleming again, and Fleming down this side doing really well, tries to cross it. Dodo, then Lowe, back to Fleming again, then Lowe. Lowe takes a shot, and it's... Why did Dodo touch it? It remains 1-0. It's disallowed. Dodo was offside. Was this going in? Low shoots. Not sure. Keeper could have got there. But again, it's all pressure from Bolton. Tranmere just not able to deal with the attacking pressure, which is good. Would have been nice to see some conversion, see lots of goals from this, but maybe that's to come. Fleming now. Dodo. Low. Can't get there. And again, this is going to fall to a Bolton player, and it's Hamilton now. And Hamilton plays it to Nisiala. Nisiala plays it to Politic. Hamilton, who finds... Is that Fleming again? He's trying to find Fleming, I think. But this is over. It's Payne. And save there from Matthews as it remains 1-0. It's out for a corner. We're going to see this corner. We are. And this is Gilmore. In. Nobody there. And Bolton win 17 shots, 18 shots, in the first half, 60% possession, 8 of those on target. It is 1-0, and most of the pressure is coming from Bolton. What we're going to do is on the 60th minute mark, we're just going to make 3 substitutions. We're not going to do anything else than that. It's just trying to replicate what the computer would do, the assistant manager. It's now Politic who's going to take this free kick. And it's Nisiala who's over yet, but yet it's another chance. 21 shots so far. Let's just pause this. Let's make a few changes. What does Luke Murphy want to do? We'll bring him on. Luke Murphy can come on for Lowe. We've got Chris O'Grady. He wants to play up top, so he can come on for Daryl Murphy. And then we've got Ronan Darcy, no place for him. Joe Bunny wants to play on that left. He is fit. Yeah, let's bring him on. That's it. Just 3 changes. That's just to replicate what would happen. And it's Bunny now. Big long throw. Straight at the keeper. Keeper saves. It remains 1-0. Davies boots that upfield. And it's going to go all the way to Matthews. Big kick. Matthews now plays it to Brian. Brian's going to play it to Murphy. Murphy runs with the ball, lays it back, and it's Brian again. Plays it into Hamilton, and Hamilton runs with the ball. He's going to lay it off to Murphy. Murphy to Hamilton. Hamilton now releases it, and it does find Dodo. Dodo cross it. Oh, I thought it was a cross, but keeper saved it. And O'Grady scores. Oh, that's disallowed as well. Let's have a look at this again. We're not going to see that, but saved it. Emmanuel then crosses in, and O'Grady scores, but he's offside. But again, more and more pressure, and the more impressive thing is that it's not really letting Tranmere in, and the results bear this out, that they haven't been conceding that many as what we've seen. So it's a better team than we've previously put the tactic into, and probably because it's better defensive players, it's helping. And it's Bunny now, Brian, Matthews, Nasiala, big long ball over the top, doesn't find anybody. Feeney gets it away. Woodyard, they're passing it around. Wilson releases it through, but Bunny's there again. But Johnson claims it back, and now it's a little bit like ping pong as Natambwe and Payne. Bunny with a rash challenge, but Payne stays on, and it's straight at Matthews, and it is 1-0 still. And the shots have seemed to have calmed off now. It's remained at 23, 9 on target, and the possession's gone down a bit. And they put a free kick in there, and it's Woodyard, and it just goes wide. But with your influence, I mean, heads are down, complacency, I think, for this second half. With your influence, it might have been a little bit of a different story. But overall, the story reads 26 shots, 10 on target, 55% possession, 7 fouls only, which we've seen the accumulation of fouls and yellow cards. This isn't showing that. With a better team, it's giving better results so far. And that's the end of that. First thing we've got to do before we go any further is we've got to go to the selection and clear that entire selection. That just means that we're not putting that in there. There's no influence. Let's have a look at the table then, because that's pushed Bolton into second position, and they do have a game in hand over Doncaster. They're on 52 points with scoring 62 goals with 29 against, 33 goal difference, 52 points, and they sit second. So what we're going to do now is we are going to have a look what the last game of the season is, which is the 3rd of May. We're going to come back on the 4th, and we're going to see what's happened. So we're coming back on the 4th of May. Okay, so we are back. It's the end of the season, and you've probably already noticed Bolton finished 3rd. We're a little bit extended because we've had to sim the playoffs, but let's have a look. Firstly, let's go to the table. No, in fact, let's go to the schedule. So we left off after the Tranmere game. It then went a little bit rocky for 3 games, but they did play Shrewsbury, Coventry and Doncaster before a 4-1 victory over Wickham, a 2-2 draw with MK Dons, 3 2-0 victories over Accrington, Wimbledon and Peterborough, a 1-1 draw with Southend, a 2-1 victory over Fleetwood, a little bit patchy here before victories over Rotherham and Oxford. That put them 3rd, before they beat Bristol Rovers 3-1 and 4-2, and then lost 2-1 in extra time to Doncaster. In fact, let's put that on. Where they were winning 1-0 thanks to Hamilton, conceded through Coppinger in the 55th minute, and then Ben Sheath a penalty in the 96th minute. What that meant was, this is how the table finished. Bolton played 44, won 27, drew 10, lost 7, scored 89 goals and only conceded 46, with a goal difference of 43 and 79 points. Literally a point off promotion, which, if you consider Bolton was supposed to finish down here, let's have a look at this preview. Yeah, supposed to finish down here. Now, also, you have to remember that, did they have a points deduction? Bolton deducted 12 points. So add those 12 points on, just hypothetically, and they would have finished on, what, 89, 91 points and champions. And so, in the grand scheme of things, very unlucky not to go up, and were the best team in the division. Now, if you consider that they were ranked to finish here, and actually, if we just hypothetically take those 12 points, that is massive. The tactic worked, and it worked really, really, really well. There isn't any way of putting that. Let's have a look at, I think so, with 2 of the top scorers again. Daryl Murphy with 32, Dodu with 18, That's 2 of them. Then we've got Ethan Hamilton there, who's 13th with 11. Player of the Match awards, not so many. You got Ethan Hamilton there on 6 and Murphy, they're in the charts. Average rating, Josh Emmanuel 7.31. I am surprised with all those goals. Murphy isn't up there, but he is in there, and so is Hamilton, and so is Brandon Fleming. Assist, Josh Emmanuel on 15. There's also Brandon Fleming on 10. Sorry, Luke Murphy, Brandon Fleming and Josh Emmanuel in there. Yellow cards, they did accumulate a fair amount there, you can see. So all in all, very successful. Let's go and have a look at the first club vision. A rating, passed. And they're on course for the promotion, obviously, from where they were. Finances, going to be rocky. This isn't the most stable club, and they're currently spending 80,000 on wages, but only committed to 53, so that will be cut. Did they make any more signings? I think just the one, which is that 17-year-old, and they lost Cody Pryor, who I think they signed here. Other than that, not very much. Let's have a look at the squad. Average ratings we'll do first, because that's already there from last time we looked, and you've got 7 players there, all above 7 ratings. You have a few hovering around there too. In terms of goals, look at that, 32 for Murphy, who's getting a transfer to Shamrock Rovers. Dodu with 18. You have Ethan Hamilton with 12, Jack Hobbs, central defender, with 7, Keane Bryan with 6, Georgiou with 5, Politic, who was another one wanted by Sunderland, Fleming, Gotts, and then you've got the rest 2 and 1. Besides, assists, like before, spread around the team, mainly coming from Emmanuel and Fleming on that right and left hand side. But then you've got from the central midfield Murphy with 10. You've got Politic, who plays up on the any side, left or right, with 7. You've got Dodu chipping in with 6. Gotts and Hamilton with 5 and 4. And Daryl Murphy with 4. Giorgio and Buckley with 3, 1 the rest. So all in all, when you look at what's been done with the tactic in the opposite direction of probably the Macclesfield, the last episode, this is a lot better. It'd be interesting to have seen maybe this progress with the same club in the Championship. Out of interest, let's have a look. In League 2, Macclesfield 22nd. So you can see that the improvement they made, I think they finished on 67 points, 66. So a good 15, 16 points more than that. Out of interest, oh, we haven't got them loaded up because it's the reason. So it runs quicker. We don't need them loading up when we get to this stage. Same as we'll keep it at League 2 for when we go up into the Championship. But we're not going to load the non-leagues. It's just quicker to run. But Macclesfield, you can see down there, and we've already seen here Bolton, and so that is about it. If you've liked the episode, please drop a like down there. Please subscribe for future content. We are in the Championship next. We will have a look in a second what that is, which team that's going to be, but also leave a comment if you've used the tactic. All the details for the tactic, the download, is in the description, and it's by Chris Rishton, and all those details are in there from the Twitch, Discord group and the Facebook group. So please have a look, please leave a comment, please like, and please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. But before we do, actually, let's have a look who it might be that we're putting this tactic to. It looks like it might be Barnsley, but that all depends on who it is when we start the game. But it might be Barnsley, but we'll see. But see you for episode 5.
We are heroes tonight.